Gandhi once said the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. And one thing throughout the COVID-19 crisis, we have seen the community come together, volunteering, lifting one another up. To talk a little bit more, let's bring in Carol Hack. She's with the Greater West Bloomfield Michigan Week Community Awards. Carol, thank you so much for being with us.
Well, thank you so much for having me, and I'm so sorry about all of this. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Yes, you're
good.
fine.
Okay. I just got a funny message on my screen. Thank you so much, and I'm so sorry about the technical difficulty.
Carol, no apologies needed. Trust me, we have all experienced it, and it is perfectly okay. Again, one thing throughout this year is we're all relying on technology, and between Zoom bombs and breakdowns and the internet and this, that, and the other, we just learned to go with the flow.
Well, then I guess that's what we'll do this morning, huh?
Carol, tell us more about Michigan Week and the Community Awards.
Well, we are a 49-year tradition in West Bloomfield, in Greater West Bloomfield, I should say. It was started in 1972 by a West Bloomfield superintendent. And he gathered the schools and the governments and the business and the community leaders to brainstorm a week-long calendar of events to showcase what we're all about in West Bloomfield, which, as the years went on, that week-long celebration, which always ended in a breakfast, which at the state level, it always ended in a breakfast also. But West Bloomfield was kind of joked with because our calendar became a month-long calendar of events celebrating our community, the worship houses, the schools, the businesses. So back when we had an eccentric, a West Bloomfield eccentric, we used to put this week-long calendar in it. And they did an article one time about West Bloomfield does this for a whole month. But we were proud of that. So, but the tradition actually started at the state level so that the great state of Michigan could be celebrated for its people and its places and all of its businesses and our great schools and especially our agriculture and everything that's said about Michigan. So I know when I was a kid that we always did Michigan Week projects that we got to take home. And I can't remember if my kids did or not. I don't remember if anybody else out there remembers that, but I did. But it's great people that makes this a fabulous community. And all of that needs to be celebrated, I think, don't you? So at the center of our Michigan Week tradition is recognizing volunteers. And this megacast comes at the perfect time to shine a light on all the volunteers because this is National Volunteer Week. So it comes at a perfect time. Thank you.
So with that, we know volunteers are so vital to our communities and helping us thrive and survive, and even more so over this past year. So what is the effort? What does it take to try to recognize and honor some of these people?
Whoa, I could be on here all day trying to tell you how we do that. But it is a year-long effort, and it takes the effort of the communities of we call it Greater West Bloomfield because we encompass the city of Orchard Lake, Sylvan Lake, Kego Harbor, the school district of West Bloomfield, Bloomfield Hills, and West Bloomfield to nominate people in those different sectors that have rise above what they normally do as far as volunteering. And this is all about volunteering. It's not about what you do at work. However, some people at their jobs, depending on their jobs, do go above and beyond what they need to do, and then it turns their workday into a volunteer day. So we are so grateful for all those partners that come together so we can recognize everyone in all those communities. And we're excited that Civic Center TV and the Cable Commission are part of our committee, and they partner with us. They've been partnering with us for many years, and it's because of them that the whole celebration has become what it has become, and it's a much more fun an eventful thing that happens in West Bloomfield.
I love the theme this year, Shining Together, because we have all had to come together over this past year as we continue to navigate the COVID-19 crisis. I believe you want to talk about some of the clips. Do you want to start off with that, Carol?
Sure. Let me go to, I believe your first clip is with Deputy Chief of Police Kurt Lawson. Did a wonderful job. I viewed that clip, and I think that's the first clip we're going to go to.
We're super excited about this program. It's one of the areas where we kind of do a self-assessment here within the police department. One of the areas that we felt we were deficient. We really weren't taking care of our people as far as like whole wellness, and that's physical wellness as well as a mental health wellness. And you know, even officers here in West Bloomfield, we see quite a bit of trauma. And over time, that trauma builds up. And that can lead to physical ailments, mental health issues, and unfortunately, like we see on a national level, suicides. So we wanted to put a program in place where we could get our officers the help that they may need, and also be able to identify quickly if we see a potential problem on the horizon and get them the help that they need. Well, I'm happy to report that I think with our younger members of our department that there really isn't a stigma, that they have no issues asking for help and going to seek help, which is great. Because I said this on the WDIV interview in 1994 when I started, if you would see something traumatic, the older officers would say, you know, suck it up. This is what you signed up for. But what they didn't realize is that that's why we, in 2019, had 237 officer suicides in the United States. That you can't keep those emotions and those feelings buried. That there has to be a way for you to vet those feelings, to talk about those feelings. And that's what's so great about this peer support team that we started back in January. And even though it's completely confidential and I have no idea who exactly has spoken to our peer support team, it's my understanding that it's been used quite a bit, which makes us feel great about the direction we're headed.
So again, that was with the West Bloomfield Police Department. They're doing great work over there, starting up a new program to try to help the officers as well deal with some of the emotions of the job. And Carol, why is that important for what all of you are trying to do?
Because we're trying to shine a light this year, because so many people have undergone, especially our first responders, our police department and our public safety people and the fire department and EMS that serve our community. And the message that Kurt put out, which I'm so grateful for because I'm a proud mother of a police officer who's a lieutenant at Wayne State University, and I have a nephew that's a sergeant in the Taylor Police Department. So I am glad that the police departments all over in West Bloomfield is leading them into trying to solve this crisis for everyone, because it's so important that if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of other people. So we'd like to shine a light on them, and we have a surprise when it comes to our event, May 19th. So we're still not, no one knows yet what's going on and who's won and what they've won, but we're grateful for their support and for their families that give them their first support. Without the support of their families, they couldn't do what they do. So we thank not only the first responders, we thank their families as well.
And please extend our gratitude to your family members for taking on the service of law enforcement. It is a very tough job right now, so we wish them the best and want to say thank you to them as well. Who else do you want to highlight here today, Carol?
Well, we want to highlight, let me see, we are, besides our public safety, we want to highlight other essential workers. If it wasn't for the businesses being open, that we could go buy our milk and buy a pair of jeans if our kids needed one. We need those people just as at their jobs, just as much as we needed the fire and the police department. obviously to different degrees, and they do different things, but those essential workers kept food on our table, kept clothes on our backs, kept gas in our cars. We need to thank those people also for doing what they do and going to work. One of my sons at the time during this past year worked at a big box store, and he was a little nervous going into work with strangers coming in, but you know what? He went to work every day, he protected himself, and he made sure that customers could come in and feel safe and shop for their essentials. So I want to thank those people. And we have another clip from Susan Levine, who's the director of the Chamber of Commerce for West Bloomfield, and I think she says it all also.
It was born out of the idea that I'm trying to figure out a way to make sure that people do support our local community. We need these small businesses. They are the backbone of our livelihood. They support our schools and our communities. So I was trying to figure out some sort of campaign that could bring customers in, and I was very fortunate to get a great partner in LaFontaine Automotive Group, Subaru, and Commerce. They are the sponsor of this great campaign. And Audrey Reiskamp, who is just, I don't know if you're familiar with her, but she's just this amazing marketing person for them. And we developed this idea that she would go into many of our local shops and purchase $25 gift cards. And then I would have a trivia contest the beginning and the end of the month. And the first person to answer it would win a $25 gift card to many of our great shops like Crispelli's, Lash Lounge, the UPS store. So we have a lot of really great local community shops, and I'm really hoping that we can bring some business back to them. Maybe people aren't aware that they even exist.
Suzanne has been such a lifeline for so many of our businesses here throughout the West Bloomfield area. She's worked incredibly hard over the past year. We're talking with Carol Hack. She's with the Greater West Bloomfield Michigan Week Community Awards. Carol, we're starting to run out a little bit of time since we got started late, but I know you have one other person you want to highlight.
Yes, we'd like to highlight the library. The library is a lifeline to the community, even though everyone can't go in there all the time like we used to, but they still offer us services. And we were sorry to see our past director retire, Clara Bora, but we have a wonderful new, energetic, Kathy Roos is her name, from the Troy Library, who's become our director at our West Bloomfield Township Public Library, who's very energetic on our committee and is working really hard to keep the lifeline to the community going so that whatever it is you need, you can get it from the library, maybe in a different way, but they do offer different ways and ideas for you to get what you need. So we'd like to hear from Kathy.
I think certainly during the first stages of the pandemic, the library was huge because it provided electronic resources. So even if you couldn't come into the building, you weren't cut off from gaining access to books and materials. We have so many streaming services. We have ebooks that you can download. And, I was listening to your interview with Stacy and hearing about books and everything. And, I'm very much a person who I don't want anyone ever to be without a book, and that the library can still provide that to people. And even if you like, you're not a reader, but you like digital media, streaming movies, streaming music, we have all of that for you. Troy Library is not currently open to the public for different reasons, and that's one thing where Troy Library had to very much increase its expenditures for electronic resources and increase the publicity to let the community know that those resources were available because they couldn't come in the physical building.
So great to be able to honor so many people here in the Greater West Bloomfield area, so many people that have worked tirelessly throughout this pandemic to continue to bring us services. We're talking with Carol Hack. She's with the Greater West Bloomfield Michigan Week Community Awards. The award ceremony is going to be taking place May 19th at 7 p.m. Carol, how can people find more information?
Well, you can always find everything you need to know about this great event at michiganweek.org. and navigate through that. That's how you nominate people, which it's too late now, but for next year, just take a look at it and see what you might want to do next year. You can also sponsor by going to the website, but you can also learn the history of Greater West Bloomfield's Community Awards Breakfast and who started it. And that's the best place to go to find out. And you can look at past years. You can also see a list of awards that people have won in past years also. So we're going to have a watch party on May 19th starting at 6 o'clock. We call it the Red Carpet Watch Party for our Community Awards event. So we hope everybody joins us at 6 and at 7 for the actual event.
Well, Carol Hack, we so appreciate your time. Again, the Greater West Bloomfield Michigan Way Community Awards coming up in May. So it's such a great way to honor so many people here in our community. We appreciate your time.